As tensions rise in Syria, joining us now, Republican Congressman from Missouri and Chairman of the powerful House Ways and Means Committee, Jason Smith. Congressman Smith, I want to get your reaction. President Biden has said he will forcefully protect Americans in Syria. He did carry out a series of precision strikes against the Iranian-backed militias there. They struck again last night. Has his promise to protect American troops, has his response lived up to that promise?
Well, it looks like so far his response in this instance has lived up to it. But, you know, it's the duty for us to protect all Americans. But our adversaries, Griff, have become completely emboldened across the world. We've seen these Iranian-backed attacks skyrocketed since President Biden's taken office. We've seen China deepen their economic and diplomatic ties in the Middle East and buying Russian oil and Iranian oil and natural gas. We've even seen Saudi Arabia, a traditional U.S. ally, deepening their ties with China. This is all happening because the Biden administration doesn't seem to have a plan to counter China, Iran, or anyone.
That's a great point. My colleague Aisha asked your colleague Congressman Auchincloss in the last segment to really broaden this out a little bit, to look just at what you talked about: China with the spy balloons, Russia taking down our drone, now the Iranian-backed militias attacking American troops in Syria. Is this administration lack a strong enough response on the world stage?
Absolutely. We didn't have these issues when Donald Trump was president. China is clearly not the United States' friend. The Biden administration needs to understand that. I mean, the fact that they sent a balloon all over our country proves that. Russians are not the United States' friend. They shot down our drone just over a week ago. We have to counter their aggression using the economic aspects and tools that we can. We saw Donald Trump do that with China. They backed down. We need to do that again.
Your committee, Ways and Means, just held hearings. You're looking into the trade aspect of this since you brought it up. Are we taking a tough enough stance with China in regards to trade? We had TikTok hearings all week.
This administration is not taking a tough enough stance against China. Our trade deficit with China last year was almost $400 billion, Griff. Our supply chains of food, energy, and medicine, they're all vulnerable because we are more reliant on China manufacturing than ever before. A country that relies on another nation for the most basic goods needed for national security is no longer independent. They are politically dependent. We have to separate ourselves from China.
And Congressman, they're just giving me about 15, 20 seconds here, but quickly, your thoughts on whether we do see former President Trump indicted this coming week.
Boy, I sure hope not. What the prosecutor in New York is doing is absolutely unconscionable. Not a solid prosecutor in this nation with a half of a brain would ever indict under these kind of situations. This is all clearly targeting political enemies, political opponents, and it's exactly what's wrong in third world countries. Unfortunately, it's in New York State.
Congressman Jason Smith, thank you very much for your time.